Following the incessant attacks and spite of arson being carried out by hoodlums and unknown gunmen on government installations and institutions and properties across the southeast zone of the country. Now, security agents in the zone have been advised to intensify their effort in curbing the insecurity and the unrest in that region. Now, this morning we are being joined in the studio. We have the president of the Network of Civil Society of Nigeria, NOCSEN, is in person of our comrade Ogbidi Mano. Thank you so much, Ogbidi Mano, for joining us.
Good morning, DPO. Good morning, viewers.
And of course, joining us all the way from Abuja, Nigeria, is no other person than Chukwu Emeka Ofogbu. Thank you for joining us, Chukwu.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure being here.
All right, now quickly take us through. Now, there have been serious attacks on government institutions in the southeast, which used to be one of the safest regions in the country. How did we get here, and what do you think is the way out of this serious attack?
Okay, thank you so much once again for having me this wonderful morning. Please, when you were in your opening monologue, you called them unknown gunmen. We have no unknown gunmen in the southeast.
Are they known? Are they known faces?
All the gunmen in the southeast are known.
Okay.
And the only reason they operate freely is that they enjoy the political patronage of the political class who provide them with political cover when it comes to time for retribution by the government. And then how did we come here? We didn't come here by miracle or by magic. It's not a cause. This is a self-inflicted injury. Because in the southeast, from 1999, when we entered this new democratic dispensation, some people decided to revive an old history, knowing fully well that so many people don't understand exactly what happened between 1967 and 1970, but they set it up as a political scheming game against the federal government. Then up until 2012, it was just a bunch of people, barrel pushers, and just the type of people they can easily confuse. Well, with a few intellectuals here and there, but mostly people are brought into it. Then Nnamdi Kanu set up his IPOB when he stole the Biafra movement from Wazwike, who was doing it under Masop. He made him the head of the media outfit. Then by the time Wazwike came to Nigeria, he stole the websites, the radio and everything, then the password. Then formed this current IPOB you know today, which is registered as a private business in the UK. IPOB Worldwide Limited. Let me say was because the British government has delisted it. They started from one scam to another, telling people that their problem is this, is that, but everything escalated in 2015 after President Muhammadu Buhari lost the election. One is election president, Goodluck Jonathan
lost his election to Muhammadu Buhari.
Pardon?
When Goodluck Jonathan lost the election to Muhammadu Buhari.
Yeah, when President Goodluck Jonathan lost an election, what the political class, who have nothing to show the people, ever since they've been ruling, because during the military regime, the noise was that if our people were the ones in charge of the southeast, everything would be good. But they themselves know that they delivered nothing, and there is nothing they will use to support their own people against the federal government. What they did was all came around together and started causing within Nnamdi Kanu and his IPOB. They were there when he went to the USA in that same 2015, Atlanta, Georgia, telling them that he needs guns, that he wants to fight Nigeria. They were contributing. The World Igbo Congress gave millions of dollars, so many people. And when you have such a venture giving you money, you are at no loss. And the people you are deceiving are there praising you. It tends to embolden you to do more. And that was how it rolled up until when he was arrested. By the way, when he was arrested in Lagos, he was supposed to go to Ukraine to source for arms. And the people that were supposed to send the arms to him were waiting for him in Ukraine. Unbeknownst to him, he took another flight, went to Nigeria, was lying to them he was in Ukraine. It was when he was arrested that they knew that he was actually there. That was why there was so much media noise the very first time, and they didn't even let people know what was happening. Then he was released on bail with stringent conditions, which he violated, sent his voice against the military. When the military came, he ran away. But so many people don't know where this thing all came from. Then when he ran away, he started with these Fulani herdsmen. And by then, they started killing their own members who realized that this was a fraud.
Was there? Let me pause you a little. Chukwuka. Was there any form of collaboration between the IPOB and the Fulani herdsmen in that region for any time?
No.
Okay.
What they were doing was that they were killing people in the bushes, dumping their bodies, and they will make a video and say, "Oh, Fulani herdsmen have killed people there. They've killed people over there." And most of those politicians who are using the when they have any problem with anybody, they will send them to go and kill the person. One important person then was their so-called Biafra spiritual leader, Prophet Anthony Nwogu, who, after realizing that after Nnamdi Kanu told them that he would bring Biafra, there would be referendum, not to participate in the election. He collected money, put the man exposed. A few days later, they killed the man and said, 1 minute, they said it's Fulani herdsmen, and that was where this thing started crippling in at first. But then, after the EndSARS of 2020, because they used their boys to steal all the guns, go to checkpoints, attack people, you could hear Nnamdi Kanu when he was telling them to do this, do that, kill the army, kill the police. Then all those guns they gathered there, it's exactly what is behind the insecurity we have in the Southeast.
Okay, I'll get back to you in a moment. Let's get to Emmanuel Ogbede now, who is live here in the studio with us. Now, from his submission, are we now going to look at this whole scenario as being politically motivated by some persons in court?
Okay, let me quickly appreciate the very deep background of my co-discussant in all of this issue and a very brief history. The fact still remains that our government has, in many times past, lacked the very intellectual capacity to handle key and sensitive issues that has to do with national issues and security matters. Take, for example, before the advent of the Fulani herdsmen, we have the Boko Haram. You saw how the Boko Haram issue was mismanaged and it snowballed and played into the hands of other local and even eventual international terrorist organizations taking advantage of all of these. Then the Muhammadu Buhari administration also mismanaged. If you look at the brief history of how all of this came in, this is an issue that would have been intellectually engaged and not giving room for somebody like Nnamdi Kanu or the likes and all of those who want to take political advantage of all of this group to be able to engage on what we see today. So, but because of how it was mismanaged, the situation snowballed to what we have here today. And the fact still remains that government with intelligence can do better. If the intelligence and our security agencies are able to provide necessary intelligence to government without political undertone, all of these things will be a thing of the past. Gone are the days where you fight insecurity with armories, with weapons and all of that. It's beyond that. Security issues these days, good governance is one major way of fighting insecurity, because at the bane or at the source of all of this secession and agitation is bad governance. Some sects of the region in the country felt that they've been marginalized and they've been relegated to the trash can of history. And when propaganda comes from all of these intellectuals, they are easily bought by the locals because they are presenting realities to them. No roads, no appointment, no key appointment, no political involvement, or no key responsibilities, relinquished to this set of people to have this sense of belonging in a nation like Nigeria. That is why you see they easily buy into all of this, what is it called? you know. So also, let's look at welfare of the people. If you put the welfare of the Easterners into consideration today, you will discover that the issue of unrest will be reduced. If you engage in social development, you will discover that issue of insecurity will be reduced. If you engage in employment, strategic employment and empowerment of youth, you will discover that the issue, the same set of persons that you use to perpetuate all of this unknown government and insecurity, if they are engaged and empowered today, you will discover that they can no longer be available in the hands of those who are using them to perpetuate evil. Now, at a time, you discover that even there was a kind of a rivalry between Asari Dokubo, what is it called? That's the militant, the Niger Delta militant, then the IPOB. Why? Because there is some level of political patronage to all of these things that we are seeing today. So the amount and how much you can engage government, how much you can use the instrumentality of violence to prove points in Nigeria, to Nigerian government. And it seems as if that the language, the government of the day today, the language they understand is when people take arms, or when they pick up, when they go on protest, or when they go on violence. That is when government tend to listen. But all of these things started from somewhere, of which intelligence would have nipped from the board, of which good governance would have nipped from the board, of which separating political issues from governance would have nipped from the board. Would have handled from beginning.
Okay, let's get back to Ofuegbo. Ofuegbo now, Nnamdi Kanu seems to be the rave of the moment, as most of these agitators are actually clamoring that until he's been released, there will not be peace in the Southeast. You know, the issue of the Monday compulsory sit-at-home order that's been affecting that region. Now, do you think if Nnamdi Kanu is released from detention, will it actually help to cushion the heavy effect we are having in that region? Ofuegbo.
No, the thing is already out of the bottle. And remember, sit-at-home did not start because Nnamdi Kanu was arrested. They started this sit-at-home since 2017. But no one was caring so much. No one cared. And they, you know, it wasn't on like a constant Monday issue. Maybe once a while they would declare it. But some people like us, saw this and warned against it. Now people are pretending as if they release Nnamdi Kanu that this is going to stop. It's not going to stop because they recognize the scam. I don't call it a movement, it's a scam.
Are you saying Nnamdi Kanu should remain in detention for the meantime?
Why would you release such a person with all these atrocities he committed? Let me tell you one thing you don't understand.
Tell me.
This movement, when he was outside, he was like the fulcrum that controls it. Then in the 5 states of the Southeast, they have other sub-commanders, sub-leaders commanding them. But when Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, it became obvious that he was making money, giving some people and not giving the others. So these other people have now realized how they can easily make money with this, because when you talk about ESN, it's not a trained militia or a regulated militia. In ESN, you have all the kidnappers, you know, all the criminals, armed robbers, and political thugs. Those are the people that came under one umbrella. All the mayhem unleashed on the Southeast during the NSAS protest/riot. We are committed by these people, and they've tasted money. Any animal that tasted blood will always want more blood.
But don't you think this? But don't you think some of these your statements are just allegations that are baseless, or have you independently verified some of these claims, some of your assertions?
You are in studio. You can actually use your tablet and just type in ITOB Worldwide Limited. You will see it from the UK company's house. And all of these things I'm telling you, I can name them their commanders. Ikoso was not a trained man, he's a criminal. Dento that is disturbing people now was under Ikoso. Benjamin Madugu, that is Nnamdi Kanu's actually second. He has no legitimate business. Go and see how he's living, collecting money from the governors. Sapele, their commander, is still there at Imbosi and all these places in Anambra, wreaking havoc as some parts of Abia State. All of them from the beginning to the end. This is just a fraud that they set up. Then politicians keyed into it because they've seen a reason to not work for the people. So long people are expecting Biafra to come, they don't care what their governors are doing with their money. Look at the Southeast, infrastructure-wise, is the worst. So this thing we are seeing is a well-planned scam. They are playing on our people, knowing very well that most of them don't know the actual thing that led to the civil war. And everyone is now playing victim. That is the reason. These guys that are carrying arms, carrying guns everywhere in the Southeast, all the communities they resided, how did they get in there? Because they told them they were coming to protect them from the Fulani herdsmen and the about Biafra, which is not a hard thing to say to an average woman up until now. It's now that it's gotten to almost every family that they are now shouting, oh, come and remove them. But the small lion has grown.
Okay.
It's now an adult lion. They can't easily take it away. That's what they are suffering.
All right, Chukwuka, I'll get back to you in a jiffy. You'll be telling us what the Ohaneze Indigbos are doing to ensure that they see how to get rid of this heavy attack, and of course what the Southeast governors are also doing in that regard. I'll get back to you in a moment. Let's get back to Emmanuel Obidi now. Yes. Don't you think economically this region is hugely affected?
Yeah, yes, without being told, the region is losing a lot in terms of economy, in terms of business activities, in terms of even educational and even social activities and nightlife. So a lot is being affected as far as the insecurity and unrest is concerned. But more importantly, and what we cannot shy away from is this, that none of these unrests can exceed or escalate up to this time without necessary political coverage and undertone. That remains the truth. A responsible government, both at national and sub-national level, will always produce and bring about a sane and a responsible society where violence are not tolerated, where criminality and violence, or if you like, agberoism, are not patronized. The fact still remains that in political era, take for example in one of the eastern states now, election is coming.
That's Imo State.
Now, good. Now, some of these groups that we are talking about are already finding alliance with one or two political parties or candidates that you can think about. They patronize them. They give them cover. Okay? Even in Edo State, at a time, you will understand that what we see today, there were times where agberoism was in the height of patronage. Sometimes you cannot even differentiate between government official and agbero in the street. What agbero can do, some government officials can't even do it. Why? Because they enjoy the backings and government patronage. So what will solve all of this is to remove the hand of political bigwigs, government at all levels, and see the need to bring about a responsible society. Both national, we cannot remove the political undertone from all of this insecurity. If we want to solve it today, our government, our politicians must come out clean. It operates with the law of demand and supply. They demand for violence, and this group are available to supply violence for their demands. And they patronize them and they give them backups. Okay. Some of them even give them coverage. So the economic activity today does not concern the government. What concerns these politicians is how they can get into power. And if it means for them to destabilize the system at every point in time, during or after a political system, when it is their opponents that wins, okay, they get all of this group to destabilize the system. When it is their turn, they also employ them to either get back up for themselves. So let's look critically behind all of this insecurity. Let's look at the involvement of the government at the national level. To me, I will also subscribe. I believe if the court of competent jurisdiction, as a right activist, if the court of competent jurisdiction has said Nnamdi Kanu should be released, for crying out loud, he should be granted bail on the terms and conditions of this court. Okay. And also, beyond the bail, there can also be some level of restrictions. This is where intelligence and security comes up. Because the insecurity that we are seeing today, whether you like it or not, a lot of people still hide under the guise that Nnamdi Kanu his right is being violated. and that is why they are agitating. So if you have come with a clean hands and you say you want peace in Southeast, and the court have said, the rule of law have said, release this man on bail, on X condition, and you have not done that, you cannot be having ground to say there is insecurity today, and you want to stop insecurity.
Let's get quickly to Chukwuka now. We'll be wrapping up in a JV. Chukwuka, walk us through what is the role of the Southeast governors on this issue, and the Ohaneze Ndigbo, what have they been doing?
Okay, it is so self-defeating and contrived to expect Mondo Sumbo to investigate Lawrence Aneni, which is what you are asking me now. The people supporting these criminals and their leader are found amongst the people you just mentioned. And when you check all these people, like I told you, majority of the officers, apart from one or two governors in the Southeast, the others don't care, or they've in one way or another sponsored him and are still sponsoring him. You saw Soludo going to visit him. You saw some of all these people saying what no one understands, like something that is directly opposite to what the people want. Like I told you, the reason it seems IPOB is a strong organization is that they enjoy the patronage of the political class and all the political machines in the Southeast, from the church to the town unions to the market leaders. And when you look closely, you find out that most of these people, none of them got there through the right way, like elections and being nominated, like in the markets now. All those market leaders that are shutting down their markets, knowing that most of the traders want to trade, are people that are directly benefiting from the government that put them there. And when you scratch deeper, you find out that most people in that government, if not the governors, are the ones giving them this backing and financing them. For instance, the former governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, was the one that bought 2 Lexus SUVs from Globe Motors. I can prove all these things I'm telling you now. Get to now, they got expensive vehicles, but he wasn't building schools. He wasn't doing all this. Why would he do that? It's because anything that removes IPOB from the scene will now open them for attack by the people. So IPOB, they see it as a wall, as a wedge between the masses and their own positions. Of course, they all want their children to replace them when they are gone. So that's why they need a system like this to establish. Don't expect them to do anything. I'm telling you this.
Okay.
From this
all right.
Watch the security situation for a long time. Only a handful of them, and those people are the ones they are attacking. Why do you think they leave all these ones? Nothing like okay. How many times have you seen a publication from the Ohaneze Ndigbo against any of the attacks? In Imo State, for instance, the BT of Ohaneze Ndigbo is from Imo State. How many people were killed last week? JTF, 8. Then the other place, 2 people. Did he even issue a press release against it? That's how you know the people that are actually funding them, their actual backbone. All these ones that are coming to court when he has a court date, who do you think are the ones mobilizing them?
Okay.
So you don't expect the people that brought the problem to bring a solution.
All right.
It's impossible.
Okay, Emmanuel, within the next
30
seconds, why destroy your own region? Why cripple government institutions just to push a cause?
I think the whole issue is very clear. Like we've been saying, it's based on personal aggrandizement and personal benefit. A lot of people, it's only very few people that believe in the country Nigeria. It's only very people that seek the very collective interest, the general interest of the people. A lot of people, they seek their personal interest.
Okay.
So if it's going to benefit me and benefit those that are around me, no matter whose horse is gone, no matter how many persons are dying, they don't care. So my own take is this. Mr. President is more than 100 days in office now. It is expected, for example, that having resumed office, the first place to visit should be a place like the Southeast. Call everybody, call all of the groups together. Many a times, not every time that guns can solve all of these things. The president should go and sit with the Southeasterner and look into this issue. Let's sit down as Nigerians, let's sit down as family and discuss the way forward.
Okay, now, Chukwuka, if you're still there, quickly walk us through the next 30 seconds because we must go now. What is the way forward?
The way forward is education. It was through indoctrination and brainwash that they got most of the people, ignorant people, to support them. It's through education that what they are doing will be explained to the ordinary people. That's why the reason many of them are still protecting them in their communities and reluctant to bring information is that they believe that these ones are actually caring for them. Education, one. Then those camps they have in the southeast, there is none of their camps they are not taking their kidnapped victims. We have, at least I can write you 50 locations. The government need to bring a serious operation to the southeast. Send more men. First, you withdraw most of the policemen from the south that are in the southeast, especially those from the southeast. Many of them are joined by the hip of the politicians, by these people, because the same politicians that got them the job and probably got them transferred to the southeast are the same one fighting these people. From that way, you see that there is a link for these people to be appraised on everything that is happening. Whenever there is an attack, most of them are once informing them. But when you give the people the right information, they know exactly what these people are doing.
All right, thank you so much, Chukwuka.
And give police and the military, send in the military, at least a 30-day operation, non-stop. The Southeast is a small place.
Okay.
You can cordon them off and make sure none of them escapes. Take out all the camps and bring in new people to replace those camps, especially the youth that are willing to fight them, but there is no support, no financial backing or anything from the government or anyone. Put them there to take care of their places. Once they control those places, believe me, these people cannot come. It's happened in Okija. Okija tried it, it's working for them, and this is the only way this can be solved.
All right, thank you so much, Chukwuka. Chukwuka, it's obvious you have a lot to dish out this morning, but we'd like to get you again on the show very, very much later. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, Manuel Obide, it's good having you always on the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll be linking up with Abuja Network Studio as we call it a wrap on today's edition of TMI.